Hello, it is the 1st of December 2021. This is ESBK Studios, and I'm your host, Richard Dort. What do we got in store for today? This is going to be a short episode, not too much to go over. I've got no wah-wahs of the week. I have one standard one, but we've got Richard 230's got a few articles he has recommended on the interwebs. Electrek. I've been not trolling. I've been checking out Electrek site. Mike Atoll has their electric motorcycle, electric bicycle, electric scooter, everything, with 2 wheels and a motor. He's there, guys. So I picked the choice motorcycle stuff out of there. Right Apart has pumped out a bunch of articles since Thanksgiving ended, and a few other things that I have found around the interwebs. So stick with us after this intro and find out what we got this week.
Every time I see my face and look into my eyes, I hide behind the face's mask of self-inflicted lies. I tell myself it isn't real, but even though I try, I see the stranger looking back, so who the hell am I?
Alright, welcome back. So, you notice I've got glasses. I'm maybe a little scruffier than I normally am. It was a rough week last week. I put so much work into updating the website stuff that I have literally wanted to do for years, that I kind of burnt the candle at both ends during my Thanksgiving break. I'm a music teacher, first of all, after being a dad and a husband, obviously, family man. I'm a music teacher first, and so I got a week-long break with my stepkids and my wife and my son, and spent a lot of late nights working on my website. And then ended up getting sick towards the end of last week, but that's neither here nor there. So that's hence why I got the glasses on right now. If you have not followed the webpage, please go to my website, TTXGP Matters. I've been covering electric motorcycles for about 10 years. Now, to be honest and full disclosure, I was only really, I was single and didn't have much else to do at the time. So I was really focused on it and kept up with it a lot just those first 2 years. I made a big push in December of 2013. No, December of 2012. I think it was. December of 2013 is when it was, to do a lot of recordings. So that I was having a hard time getting people to show up when they would. I was trying to space out every 2 weeks a podcast, and I couldn't get people to show up every 2 weeks to record a podcast that I could then put out. So I just took what I could, and then I happened to be able to get a whole bunch of people, in that time between Thanksgiving and Christmas. And one of the recordings fell between the cracks and was actually never edited and never released. It's a zero owners roundtable. It was a round table. I got 4 zero owners to say they'd show up, on the internet there and have a roundtable discussion about their electric motorcycles and their experience and why they bought them. And I think some things are really relevant. I do feel really guilty because I felt like that's a resource that, having listened to it and finally edited it, I'm like, man, this could have been a really good resource for a lot of people. It could have been really good insight for a lot of people. So I do have regrets there. But otherwise than that, it's a really cool time capsule of what is going on was going on in the electric motorcycle world at the time. I've also cleaned up the website some more, and I'm just trying to log into my laptop real quick. And I've cleaned up the website some more. Found a bunch of episodes I was missing. Found episodes that I had, but I needed to fix the links in the blog posts that they were in. So if you were seeing like my Twitter feed light up, hey, there's this interview with Shalina Moreta. Hey, there's this interview with this person. It was me fixing the links in the posts, and WordPress just automatically kind of republished it, sort of, kind of. So it hit Twitter, and a Facebook too, I believe. So a lot of old, yeah, I fixed like 3 links, and then found 4 more episodes, and then found that 5th episode. So a lot of old podcasts back up and for listening. So if you're new to electric motorcycles, only discovered in the last few years, it has been, there was a lot happening 10 years ago. A lot happening 10 years ago. A lot of it to do with prototyping, and not a lot to do necessarily with production bike stuff. So if you want to check out what people were saying back in the day, or if you remember back then and want to hear it again, go check that stuff out, guys. I'm connected to Spotify. I'm connected to Google Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts. Sorry, my sick coming through. TuneIn. I believe I'm in TuneIn. And a few others. There's a couple that I haven't got yet. Sorry, my assistant's over here working. I haven't got any of them yet. If you're somebody who would like to listen to this on their podcast, like I listen to EV News Daily whenever he actually puts the podcast out. He went on vacation for like 3 weeks. If you like to listen to podcasts on your in your drive to work, this should fit. And let me know if it's not showing up in your favorite podcast app. All right, let me know what that is so that I can get it to send to that automatically. All right, so enough of ttxgp.wordpress.com news. Moving right on. First thing, retraction from my last episode, which was about 10 days ago. Vulcan is a US made electric motorcycle. It is one of those really cool, Yamaha's got one, there's a bunch of them out there, trail, off-road, really fat tire, slow speed, go anywhere, electric motorcycles. And I've been seeing reviews. I found a few reviews on YouTube. So if you need, I've got a buddy that builds a mountain bike trail. This would be perfect for him. If you need that kind of motorcycle. And this is not just, this has suspension too. That's one thing I noticed. I think some of the other versions, like maybe the Yamaha, is full rigid because it's using the tires for the suspension. So this has big fat tires and probably 4, 5, 6 inches of travel on the bike. Maybe more than that, but it didn't really look like it was that much, which you usually don't need that much with big tires. So anyway, it looks like a really high quality bike, made it here in the US. As I said in previous episodes, they're looking to distribute throughout Latin America, Central and South America. So, you know, good luck to those guys. They make a cool product, and if that's your kind of thing, go check them out. They're about $7,000-8,000. The only thing I didn't like is they're like up to 75 miles of range. If you buy a second battery pack, you then have to go back to the truck and swap out. So, like, that would work for a lot of people in a lot of use cases. It's like 35 miles with one battery, and they claim 75 with 2. But you have to swap the batteries out. So, unless there's a way to mount a second battery at the same time, which none of their videos show. But I still thought it was a really neat product. And not too bad a price, honestly. If you're especially going to use it as a farm vehicle, and as low maintenance as that is, that could help you out a lot. All right. Oh, sorry to jiggle the camera. Okay. EV Rider, the YouTube video, EV Rider out of Jacksonville, Florida, has put up a video about his Healy bar installation on his SRF. I am not a Healy bar person at all. I actually put lower clip-ons on my VFR, but I'm 6'2". Maybe that's got something to do with it. I'm also an avid cyclist, so I'm used to the more lean forward position. I don't enjoy sitting straight up. And yeah, so check that out. Zero Motorcycles UK. I cannot find this on YouTube, but I did post a blog post, so it's on my Twitter feed at TTXGP fan, and on my Facebook page, which is TTXGP Matters on Facebook. The link to the Instagram post. They posted a video about 2.5 minutes going over a very stylized video. One of the UK policemen reviewing the, not really reviewing, but talking about how they've used the bike and they're trying it out. So, yep. And then let's see here. Moving on. Motorcycle.com's got nothing. Like, I went and looked at Energica. They just reported a dealership increase, which I forgot to put in here. I don't remember where I read that. I thought I just saw them. Yes, I saw that on LinkedIn. They just got a big bump in U.S. dealers. So they just announced that, which does not surprise me, because if you follow Right Apart, they've been reporting they got bought out by an American company whose plans were to mostly expand them into the U.S., but also their future products will be like e-scooters and e-bikes and things like that, electric mobility in general. So I don't feel like they're gonna stop selling super bikes anytime soon. Yeah, but yeah, so that's good news on that front. I don't even know where I was going with that. Oh yeah, so I went to check for that article on motorcycle.com. They haven't posted anything about Energica in like 2 years. And you know, they've also been Troy Shahan has been riding the Light Fighter electric race bike for about 2 years. Don't know if there's a coincidence there or not. But they haven't had any updates other than they haven't really had many updates on the Zero stuff, which is odd. Let's see here. Right Apart. They've got an article. I did not go into it. But, and I've been hearing this too, the Build Back Better bill could mean some good stuff for the future electric motorcycle buyers this year. So go ahead and check that. Right, you want to find an article about that? There's one on Electrek and Right Apart. So check those two articles out. I've got a link here to the Right Apart article. I've got a bunch of links. I'm not going to put them up in the YouTube video, but I am going to put them up on my blog post when I post to that. All right. So also if you remember the Italian Volt, was it Lacama or Lacama? I'm not sure which. Had made an appearance at EICMA this year. The Voxen Wattman. Do you remember Max Biaggi? Well, do you remember Max Biaggi? Because I certainly do. I couldn't forget the guy. He moved to the U.S., and I heard he had moved to California and was just enjoying not being, you know, stopped every 5 feet because people recognized him. He enjoyed that. He came to California of all places to not get recognized. He's been in Florida apparently, and they just set a new electric speed record of 200, electric land speed record, electric motorcycle land speed record of 283.182 miles per hour average. Pretty darn impressive. So he set that in Florida. That's on Right Apart, and I think it's in Electrek too, but Right Apart will give them the credit for now. Oh yes, as I had suspected, the new 2022 Energicas, new fresh fairings and paint, and all of them get the new motor. So if you remember last year, they came out with an RS version of all the bikes. And all the RS versions got the new motor, which is more powerful, more efficient, yada yada. Now all the motorcycles get the new motor. But you still get more power if you buy an RS. And of course the RS is going to come probably with, and I believe I checked this out, it was like better suspension and a few other tidbits. It was an upgrade package. So you buy the RS, you get full power, and you get suspension upgrades. Or you get the better suspension on the RS model. So go ahead and check out your Energica website today for the details. Build your own. And Kawasaki's come back up in the news on their thing, and they announced, this is really all the news there is to it. You can check out the article on Right Apart and again on Electrek. That they're gonna launch 3 electric hybrid models next year. That's all we got. Again, they plan to have all of them by 2035 and 10 by 2025. So there's that. Moving on to electric, the Sondors Metacycle, $5,000 Metacycle. If you were wondering what was going on with that, because they had to halt production. They were having huge delays because of all the chaos in all the industry right now. Parts delays everywhere. Try getting a really nice bicycle. Because of that, they had to halt orders and whatnot. They are taking orders again. And they said that the pilot production is expected to begin February 17th of 2022. And the first 2,000 units should be complete by April 6th. Again, take that with a grain of salt, because not because I don't think they're telling the truth, but things happen and I don't want them, I think everyone should give them some room to breathe. Because they seem like a nice little company that builds electric bikes, mostly. Bicycles, specifically. These new, let's see here. Oh, Cake is back in the news with some, this is not my cup of tea, but for you folks who like the Cake stuff, they've got some work motorcycles they've designed. So go ahead and check those out. And then Micah also did a review of the Coulter ES1, the first affordable highway-capable electric motorcycle. He liked it in general, and it's not super expensive. It's no Zero or Harley Livewire, or definitely not Energica, but it's highway capable. It did 70 without a problem. So yeah, check that out. If you need something cheaper, it's not a sport bike. It's just a commuter that can handle a highway stint. It doesn't have a huge range either, but it's got this. It's capable, at least highway capable. So that fits your budget and your needs. Go check that out. The Coulter ES1. All right, here you go. I don't need that right now. I'm reading. I'm talking to the camera. Yeah. All right. So Polaris has partnered with Zero. Oh yes, they finally have come out with their. Oh, this grinds my gears. They've come out with their electric ATV. Polaris bought a bunch of electric companies years ago. One of them is the little people mover, look like overgrown golf carts. They're actually pretty nice. They bought that company. They bought like a little delivery truck company that had a really small range. It was like a really small delivery truck, not like a proper one. And something else, and then they also tried to buy Bramo. Bramo didn't let them at the time. They got, I think, about 20-25% controlling interest in Bramo, though. And then finally, in 2015 or 2016, they bought out the Bramo's motorcycle side. And Bramo stayed an engineering firm and sent all the motorcycle stuff off to Polaris, and they built the Impulse under the Victory name. And then by 2017, or right around the beginning of 2017, they killed Victory. So they had awesome tech, and they clearly didn't really know what to do with it. So they announced a couple years ago they were partnering with Zero to build, Polaris was, to build electric ATVs, which they had announced years ahead of time that they were going to do with Bramo. Actually, there was a prototype. They sent a Polaris ATV to Bramo. The Bramo guys hooked it up with some batteries, a controller, and a motor, and there was a badass little Polaris prototype running around, Bramo powered. And yeah, so anyway, we got the new Polaris ATV and this is under the Richard 230 files. Yes, sorry about that. Should have told you. This is not under Electrek. This is under Richard 230. It is probably on Electrek too. But he says here, Polaris is partnered with Zero and is using electric motors and batteries in their all-new electric off-road work vehicle they call the Ranger XP Kinetic. Really, Polaris? You had the Impulse TT, and all you can come up with is XP Kinetic? I don't know. Maybe that fits their lineup. Maybe that fits the naming scheme of their lineup. Dude. All right. So here we go. And then, so go ahead and look that up. if you want to check that out. And then also he posted one. Oh, he posted this a while ago. It's on the 19th. There's a photo of Zero motorcycle being tested by U.S. Special Forces. There was a motorcycle ramp bolted to the side of a Blackhawk, and they had a Zero tied down on that ramp. Having been in the military and been in aviation, I was in Navy aviation, like, there are places where they do silly little experiments like this all the time. Special Forces, I don't know, I need to get into that article a little bit more to decipher it. But my instinct says, not having read the article, so check it out for yourself and take a grain of salt. My instinct says that wasn't necessarily Special Forces. That was a special unit that gets to play around and test nutty stuff all day. And that can be its own pain in the butt and hard work of its own. So I'm not, but it can also look clearly, these guys can have a lot of fun and enjoy their jobs for a change. So I would not take that. That's not groundbreaking news. They've been testing these Zero military bikes for like 10 years or something. Zero's offered military bikes for 10 years. I don't know if they're selling any to the military. So again, take that with a grain of salt, or my cynicism with a grain of salt. But this did not look like, if Special Forces were actually testing that, I just don't think we know about it. I think they were just playing around and checking it out and maybe, testing to see the logistics of it. Is it actually awkward and or is it something slick and smooth they can use smoothly and efficiently to get done what they needed to get done? I don't know. So that wraps up all the news for the last 10 days. Apologize, I don't normally like to record this on Monday, but I was unfortunately under the weather again on that Monday. I know, and my son's actually bringing me cold medicine right now. That was the boo-boo. Ow. The only wah-wah of the week is, I'm going to bring this back, this little thing. It is day 3,251 of my 500 Interceptor not running. A lot of shout out thanks to one of the guys on the Viffer World forums for hooking me up with some instructions and some photos. I have not done any work on this thing yet. It turns out I got a California model with all the emissions. So I've got about 11 pounds of emissions crap to rip off of this thing. And then I've got to buy all new jets for my carburetors. And then I can put the carburetors back. I gotta pull the carburetors back off of a V4 motor, which is just so much fun. So I gotta pull it back off, replace the jets, find fuel tubes, because the people who have been working on my carburetors, I think, lost all my fuel tubes. Yeah, that's it for this week. I will see you guys next week, hopefully with much more fun and engaging content. Keep an eye out on, an occasional eye out, obviously. Follow me on Twitter or Facebook for my webpage posts. I may or may not have a very respectable and talented guest writer on this site in the future. I don't know. I don't know if they want to come play in this messy sandbox or not. All right, that's it for this week. You guys take care and keep the rubber side down. Bye-bye.